Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Charles N. Lambert, and I'm the leader of Africa's First Economic War. I'm also the chairman of Development Channel. Well, the reason I'll be speaking to you today is a very important topic, something that really touches my heart and should touch your heart, and that is the issue of child poverty in Africa, the simple absence of child support system anywhere in Africa. And it's something that is a conversation that we must begin to engage at this point. We must start talking about the issue of child support in Africa for one simple reason. There's child support in America. There is child support in Canada. There is child support in the UK. There is child support system in France, in Australia, even in countries we don't even regard, Finland, Hungary. There's child support system in all these countries. Not one single African country has any kind of child support program. Not one country in all of Africa's 54 has one single child support program. And I begin to wonder how. Because the colonization and the end of it was 50 years ago. And since that 50 years ago, most of us have traveled to Western countries, the colonial masters. We have been to the UK, our leaders, and even our citizens. We have been to America. We have been to Canada. We have gone to see the countries where these people that came and colonized us from, we have gone to see where they are from. We have gone to see the societies that they are building. And for 50 years, we have never bothered to notice that they have child support system in their societies. For 50 years plus, no African country has ever bothered to notice that these people, English people, French people, Americans, they have child support system in their society. And that is the conversation we want to stir up right now. Is the discussion about Africa's first child support program. It's embarrassing to say that this is Africa's first child support program. For most people, we're supposed to be excited that we are the initiators of Africa's first child support program. But we're not excited. Actually, I'm very embarrassed that I'm initiating Africa's first child support program. Because it's too shameful that we as a continent, 54 nations, not one country in Africa, has a resemblance. If there were programs and maybe the funds were embezzled as usual, or if there were programs that maybe it's been mismanaged, it's not run properly, maybe it's not adequate, maybe it's not catering for enough children, maybe the program, if there were programs and the programs had some issues, it's easier for me to understand that. There is not a single child support program anywhere in Africa. And that is a cause for alarm. Because I start to ask myself one question. Is it that we don't have children in Africa? Because if everybody has child support and we don't have, maybe because we don't have children. But I look, there are children in Africa. So we have children here. Okay, no, we have children, but we don't have a child support system to cater for those children that we have. So why is that? But the UK has, America has, everybody has. So you go to the question is, the families in Africa are responsible to take care of their children. That is the African argument. The family should take care of their children. Okay, so does that mean that the UK, they don't have families in the UK? No families in Canada? No families in France or in Germany? You're saying they don't have families in Australia? Listen, they all have families. They have families in America. They have families in Canada. They have families in the UK. They have families. In fact, they actually have more nuclear families. That makes it a lot easier, supposedly, for them to take care of their children. Yet, they have a child support system. So can we not pretend and say that we have families and they should take care of their children? Can we not dismiss our responsibility by saying, you go take care of it in your family? Now look at the consequences of not having a child support program. They're too much, too many consequences of that. Because one, that mother that you're talking about, or that father that you're talking about, it's not every single month that they're able to cater for the child's need. Some months they could have a problem financially. Some months they could be deprived. They might not be able to support. That family you're saying is responsible. Some months they might just not be able to be responsible for that child for that month. What happens to that child for that month? At whose mercy have we as a society left that child that month that the mother cannot afford to provide a basic and important need, sometimes even food? And we're not talking about mothers of poor orphans and kids on the streets. No, we're talking about normal children. Your children is what we're talking about. Child support is not to sustain the worst of the worst. No, it's just something for children. Because you, even as a parent, will come to those months where you don't have basic little money, but you just don't have it. So you need help to come from somewhere else. It's embarrassing that we look at African nations who start to go around, places like Nigeria, where billions of dollars have been made from oil and gas over the past 50 years. Billions embezzled in oil and gas, not one single child support program. South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, Ghana. Which country are we going to go? Even Ethiopia, where the African Union headquarters is, there's no conversation about child support in Africa. But like we like to do here, we're not interested in blaming or pointing blames, or because everybody talks about Africa in a very negative light. We want to look at possible solutions in the continent. We want to look at possible solutions, things that can bring answers to some of our pains and our sufferings. So we draw our strength from the fact that the child support system exists in so many different countries in the world. So it's something that we can look at. How is it run? How do they sustain it? What keeps it going? How does a child support system work in the UK, for instance? It's a country that colonized most of Africa. So we need to look at the UK as a role model for child support. And then we try and model exactly what the child support program in the UK is and try and replicate that here for African children. And that's what we have done with this fantastic program known as the African Child Poverty Alleviator, or ACPA. Now, if we have to first look at some indications of child support statistics in Africa, and then you will look at that and you will understand how much credence it lends to the fact that we need to do something, and we need to do something right now. According to UNICEF, Africa has the worst rate of child poverty, child deprivation, child pain, child anguish, a child feeling bad, a child feeling anguish because of lack, a child having pain in their heart because they didn't afford, they couldn't get that lunch they needed, or they felt deprived. That sense of deprivation, according to UNICEF, Africa has the highest sense of deprivation of children growing up in our society. So you can imagine the kind of children that we are now, people with anguish, and you're wondering where the armed robbers are coming from tomorrow, when the society is not providing a blanket for parents to be able to support their children when they can't do it on their own. When our society doesn't, you can imagine the kidnappers for tomorrow, the terrorists tomorrow that we're raising, because we're leaving everything to families who might not be able to sustain at some point. And that kid, from that anguish, from that pain, this is UNICEF report, that we have the highest number of children growing up with pain, with anguish, with feeling of deprivation. So it tells you that your family dependent system is not working. It tells you that your dependence on let the family do it, it's not working. We can't continue doing that. Everybody has families. We need to start setting up institutional support, things that Africa can be proud of, and that's what our movement is all about. And our movement leverages on the powers of the private sector because Africa has failed miserably because of too much dependence on government. The government needs the citizens more than the citizens need the government. Without the citizens, there's no government. So this is a call for citizens to support the government, to lead initiatives driven by the citizens. We can't remain lazy. Everything will point to the government. Everything will point to the government. Everything will refer to the government. This is why Africa is still in darkness. We have to be partners with the government. The private sector must wake up and partner with the government. And in this private sector initiative, you understand that it's very effective when it's the private sector that is leading and the government is providing the support. That's how all developed countries work. That's how America works. That's how Canada works. That's how developed Germany. That's how the entrepreneurs, the private sector, they lead these societies with their innovations. Then the government supports them. It's time that we do the same thing in Africa. So this is a private sector-led initiative. And it's going to work because of the fact that it's based on the powers of the private sector. There has no room for corruption. It has no room for embezzlement. It has no room for tribalism. It has no room for xenophobia. That is the power of the private sector. And what we have done is that we have modeled this child support program after the child support program that's in the UK. So how does that one work? Well, the UK child support program draws from the profits of corporations that are doing business internationally to support children. So the UK is in partnership with these international corporations. And as they're making money from all over the world, they're drawing those funds and they're using part of it to provide benefits in the United Kingdom. So this is how it works. So that means for us to be able to institute this same thing in Africa, we have to draw profits of corporations. That way to be sustainable. Because if we do it by donation, we don't ask you to come and do what? Some donation, $3. No. This is not what we're talking about here. Donation is not sustainable. One. Secondly, how can somebody come and donate for your own children that you raise by yourself? You can't do that. It's embarrassing for you to say somebody should come and donate for your children. We're talking about having a plan that works and that is sustainable and that is pragmatic. So we look at the child support system in the UK. And the UK, like I said, they draw the profits of international corporations. So companies like Shell, when you see them around Africa, Barclays, HSBC, all over the world, as they're making profit, these corporations, their profits are drawn and is used to support children in the United Kingdom. So why don't we do the same here? And that's what we have done. So we have 25 Pan-African corporations. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but 2020, this year, is the year that Africa has signed up to have a common free trade zone. Now, a free trade zone means the whole Africa economy has finally become one. But Africans, again, have no reason to that. That's a pact all our governments have signed. So we are now one economy. Now, we can leverage on our massive one economy through these 25 corporations, and we are able to support African children with the proceeds. And that's how it works. And you'll be able to look at our website and you can see the 25 different companies. You can download their apps. You can see where the revenues are coming from to support these children. And you can also support to push those corporations so that those corporations can make more money to support more children. So with that setup, we've been able to copy exactly what the UK has. So we know that it's sustainable because it is modeled exactly how it is modeled in the UK, and the ideas have been sustainable for more than 100 years. So we are going to make sure that this is sustainable through this mechanism, that the profits of these Pan-African corporations who are taking advantage of the free trade zone that we now have will now be used to support the children. Now, since I've explained and you understand that the corporations, the Pan-African corporations, 25 of them, have been dedicated to use their profits to support African children. Now you need to understand that means we have done some mathematics in terms of the number of children that can be supported. Right now in this interim phase, this program can only support 1 million African children. Now according to UNICEF, support needs to get to 200 million African children. That's UNICEF, 200 million. Now 200 million is not something we can support with this program. So we want to first do a pilot support of 1 million African children. So this is limited to 1 million African children. And the benefits are quite wonderful. Number one, a child will be able to receive $30 every month as child support. So you do $30 conversion in your country. You understand exactly what we're talking about. So $30 every month goes to the child. And the child also will be able to, when the parent has a problem like emergency education, school fees come up and it's a bit too difficult, they can request. The child is not on scholarship, but if there's an emergency with education, the parent can request and receive the funds. If there's an emergency with health, the parents can request and receive the funds. Now, if the child also has a special talent, now a special talent, maybe something really wonderful, but there's no real support from the family to help the child's talent, again, the parent can request and receive support. Now, every Christmas also is a wonderful time for children to feel loved. We also send $50 to the child for Christmas and end of year celebrations. Now, all these things you can access for the child through an application that you can click through your phone. And that's the step we have taken the Africa Child Support Program above the UK Child Support Program, is that we have made it accessible app-based. So through your phone, you'll be able to log in, and you'll be able to log into your child's account, and you'll be able to see all these features that we're talking about. You'll be able to get the finances every month, draw through the app. Now through that app, you can withdraw the money every month. It goes directly into your local bank account from the child support account, which is on the application. Now through that application, it's very easy to use, self-explanatory, everything is self-use. You're able to use it by yourself through your phone. You'll be able to request educational support when the child has a problem. You'll be able to request special support for healthcare. So you will see all the menus of the things that you'll be able to access, and it's right at your fingertips. So child support, Africa's first child support, is out and is at your fingertips. You don't have to go to some ministry office and fill form and stand there and look for who you can talk to, what government official can help you, and whether your zone is represented. There's nothing like that. And that is the power of the private sector, that you can, right now, at your fingertip, at using your phone, you'll be able to access benefits for Africa's first child support program for your child. And so now those are the benefits for the children. And as I said, we've limited this to 1 million African children. So that's 1 million children from the whole of Africa's 54 countries. But what is the entry requirement? Now, the entry requirement for each child, this piece of equipment in my hand, we want to put just a little bit of a smaller version, the same equipment, but a smaller, a 7-inch version. We want to put it in the hand of your child. Every child coming into the child support program must get a computer tablet for too many reasons. Number one, the first reason for it is that we want to make sure that our program is sustainable. Now, the program being sustainable means, first of all, that the participants do not come in for free. Nothing is free, really. I mean, everything costs money to support the corporations. So buying the child a computer tablet, the first thing it does is that you are supporting the initiative. That's you putting your money behind the initiative by buying a product for your child from the initiative. Now, the second thing about buying the computer tablet for the child is the kind of children we want to see that are supported by the Africa's First Child Support Program. We want to see children who are technologically aware, children who can compete tomorrow with kids from America, with kids from the UK. Now, a child without IT development is, honestly, I hate to tell you that, is a wasted child. That child cannot compete in this 21st century. That child is just a waste that you give birth to a child that you did not empower with technology. Because technology is not it's not the way of the future, it's the way of the now. And it's the only way. There's no other way around it. African parents, you need to wake up. Pay attention to your child's IT development. IT is first, everything is second. If a child is going to be a doctor, IT first, medicine second. If a child is going to be an engineer, IT first. If a child is going to be a lawyer, IT first. IT first is the way to go in Africa right now. And you need to know that as a parent. So you're going to put this computer tablet in the hand of your child. Now, of course, depending on the age of your child, you can put a SIM card because you can make phone calls. You can be able to call the child or whatever you want to do. But the main thing about the computer tablet in the hand of your child is that this child becomes extremely clever. It has a very powerful effect on the IQ, the mental development of the child. In fact, a computer tablet is known as a tool of intellectuals. That's why I'm so obsessed with putting this in the hand of every African child. Every African child must have a computer tablet. It's important. The one we have designed for your child comes with educational games, things that can help them develop in different areas of learning. And the thing about it, that it keeps the child very busy. This child won't bother you again. You notice that they have a love, a sense of commitment to that gadget. So it's almost like you're giving them a toy, but a toy that has impact on their mental development. That is the requirement. The requirement is that you purchase this computer tablet for your child. We have two payment options. We have a payment option where you just pay fully the cost of the computer tablet, or you can also pay in a compassionate plan where we even give you credit. So you can start slowly, and then you get to a figure, we give you credit, and you'll be able to receive the product and continue to pay on credit and start to receive the support and all that. So we have a way for you to make sure you have no reason to tell your child that you did not enroll them in Africa's First Child Support Program. You will have no reason not to have participated. Because 20 years from now, 10 years from now, that child might ask you, did you not hear about the Africa's First Child Support Program? Why did you not enroll me for that program? And I'm telling you, we've made sure that you have no reason not to enroll your child. We've given you the easiest payment plan that even includes a credit for you to be able to pay on credit after you have done some demonstration that you're serious about your own child's mental development. So you're not paying money for the African Child Support Program. You're buying your child an educational tablet. So it's just very important that we clarify that. Now, we also have a 3 months qualification period. So there's a 3 months period before the child, can start to receive the benefit. So if you pay a full payment or you use the compassionate payment, it's going to be the same thing. By the time you initiate your first payment, we start doing what we call child adoption into corporate profits. It means we need to now adopt your child, get your child, budget in your child into the revenue and the profits of the corporations. That's a 3 months process. So like it's not something that happens, you come in today, you pay for a child tablet, and then the next month you start making requests. You can't do that. It's not a Ponzi. So you have to be patient with it for 3 months, and we adopt your child into corporate profit, then you begin to experience the return. So we've mentioned 2 critical things for you to participate. One is that you have to buy a computer tablet, a no dropout computer tablet for your child, which will help your child's mental development. And then secondly, you have to wait 3 months to make sure that your child is now assimilated into the corporate profits. And then from the 4th month, you will start to assess the benefits. Now, like I've explained, we have 2 payment plans, and we also have different methods of payments. Remember, the most powerful place for any interaction now is the internet. So that's why the internet, this program is coming to you right on the internet. It's coming to you right on your phone. So you have many different methods of payment for this product. Now, the delivery is straight to your door. So they're going to knock on your door, and you open your door and you receive the product. So everything includes, even the payment includes the delivery cost to your door. And then the payment system, we also have so many different ways you can pay. You can pay with a card, a Visa, or we're authorized by Visa and MasterCard to collect card payments. You can do that. You can also pay through what we call a payment facilitator, which is a local agent across Africa. We have local payment agents, and you pay to the payment facilitator. payment facilitator will be able to remit the payment using a card all the way up there. So we'll be able to issue you a receipt, and you'll be able to get a receipt through the app application that you made the payment to. Your receipt will come right there, and then you also be notified on the shipping of the tablet. You will receive the product for your child. You also get notifications through the application on when you start qualifying for the benefits. You also be able to access the benefits through the application. So everything is very easy for you. You have so many different payment systems that you can use, and you have very easy and very affordable, compassionate payment plans that requires $5 on your child. I mean, it's perfectly designed. It's convenient for you. It is cheap. It's a fantastic program. It helps your child's mental development. You have no risk whatsoever in participating in the program. So you will not be very clever if you don't take the opportunity right now, because the truth is, it is highly limited, and we're spreading this all across Africa. Every country, every nation in Africa must have a chance to put children in Africa's first child support program. And finally, I'll just encourage you, please, to try and make this a movement. It's something that is very passionate to us here. It's too important. It's too important. So because it's so important, we're asking you to please make it a movement. Nelson, the famous Nelson Mandela, that we all love here, Nelson Mandela, he said that a society is reflected by the way they treat their children. He said the soul, actually, of the society is reflected on how they treat children. So you can imagine what our father, Nelson Mandela, is saying to all of us, that we should treat children as a reflection of how our soul is. So you take this child support program very seriously. Please, if you don't have children, spread the video, participate, encourage people, pastors, share, everybody, community leaders. We need to rally Africa and come behind a cause that can work and start to readdress some of the critical issues that we're suffering here in this continent, because they have simple and pragmatic solutions. And before I sign off, I would like to teach you something that's very important that we do in our movement, and that is the cause of putting Africa first. And I'd like to borrow from scripture where the Lord said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else shall be added unto you. I want to describe that scripture in a way for you to understand. Because when he says, seek ye first the kingdom, people wonder, what is the kingdom? Now, he also said, the kingdom is within you. The kingdom is within you. Now, that seek ye first the kingdom, the Lord was referring to we, Africa. This, our continent, is the kingdom of God. This, our continent, is what we should seek first. We should put Africa first. We should make Africa the important thing for us, and its righteousness. So making Africa our vision, our goal, our ambition, our drive, everything else shall be added unto us. It is time that we Africans start to care about Africa. It is time that we Africans start to put Africa first. We are engaging in commercial fight to make sure that we help our society. And we ask you to come and join with us in this fight, in this economic and commercial fight that can transform Africa. Africa first, Africa first, Africa first. Economic war, we are ready, because we are fighting economic war on behalf of our generation. The Lord bless you, and thank you so much for listening. God bless.